Page 30, wheels. In this case, we get the whole rest, but now it's in 3/4 time, so it lets you see that whole rest can represent a whole measure regardless of how many notes are in it. I'll talk about this just a little bit. There's different ways of printing the music and getting the same information across. Just so you're aware that you may see it a little differently some places. Here, they do it the way most people would do it in a whole measure like that. If they want you to be quiet, they'll just put in a whole rest and be done with it. It's the easiest, simplest way to do it. But there are times when you might see a half rest and a quarter rest next to each other. That still represents 3 beats in 3/4 time or 4/4, whatever. That would represent 3 beats. The half rest and the quarter rest together would be 3 beats. And as far as tying, I mean, it's automatically tied because you're being quiet. So, okay. But there's also a contraption called a dotted half rest. Don't you love it? Because we have a dotted half note. Remember? And there's a rest for a dotted half rest too. And it's simply a half rest with a dot behind it. That's all. So if you see a dotted half rest, just know it's the same as a dotted quarter note for counting. So here they could have put in dotted half rests in these measures because that would represent 3 counts in 3/4 time. However, it's a bit confusing to do that, so they just put in the whole rest and be done with it. That's the best way of it. If you're going to write out music yourself, use a whole rest for a whole measure. Now let's look wheels over and see what we get here. It's 1 line long, treble and bass clef, 3/4 time signature. I see quarter notes and dotted half notes, and the dotted half notes are tied together. So you're going to hold those down for 6 counts. Now, of course, we have the whole rest. Okay. You're only playing one hand at a time, so I'm going to take both hands together here and see what we can do. You're starting out with the right hand on middle C here. That puts the hand here. The left hand, when it comes in, they don't tell you where the hand goes. I'm going to tell you, go ahead and put your thumb on middle C like we've been doing and be in middle C position. They should have put in a little 1 under that first note in the left hand. They didn't. Okay, that's what teachers are for. And then we're just going to play this here. And that's going to be tied, so you can hold that down for 6 counts, and then you go on. You get the idea? Okay. And once you have the notes and the rhythms worked out, and then you go back through and get rid of the hesitations. Speed is not important. Well, it's got to be steady beat, no hesitations. And also make sure you can play this without looking at the keyboard. You want to feel where these notes are. Then we can think about the interpretation. Well, natural accents. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. Feel it here. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. And there's sentences here after the word round. Wheels go around and around. That's one sentence. There's no comma or anything there, but you can hear it. It's like 2 phrases in here. So you'd lift up between them. So here, after the dotted half notes, you lift up. It's like taking a breath. Now it's the same note, so you have to lift up, but this is a little longer. So it's clear that it's a new sentence. Let's play this together very slowly and double check the notes and the rhythms and all. It'll give us 3 counts. 1, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, tie, 2, 3. 2, 3, tie, 2, 3, off.